On sale now at the K2D4 Network store. We have a wide range of shirts to get the message out to the public. The Disclosure Now with Fisty, break through the wall of suppression. End the cover-up with UFO tea. Let the public know that there is more going on than we know, and it is time to bring out the suppressed technologies and advance civilization once and for all. The signature, talk is cheap, it's time for disclosure. The Disclosure/Now tea. Very simple but very effective message. It is time to change the world, and let's begin right now. And last but not least, the official K2D4 Network shirt. Support the broadcast and get yours at k2d4network.com.
Coming up next on Talk is Cheap, we are going to discuss paranormal investigating, real paranormal investigators, and some of the equipment that we do use, along with some very useful tips for any amateur paranormal researchers out there that want to get started. We'll see you soon. Good evening. My name is Boyd Hanson. This is my second adventure here with the boys over here at Talk is Cheap, and it's getting pretty interesting. To my left over here is Dan.
Yo, folks. You're doing pretty damn good for your hosting. This is only your second show, so that's congratulations.
Well, thank you. I did a little bit of public speaking back in the good old days of ghost hunting in Sparta up at the House of Shadows, so I can do it okay once in a while.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later, folks. We got some good stuff here.
And then on the far left over here is our good friend Pete.
Hey, internet, world, universe, how's it going? Boyd, I got to tell you, man, I am stoked. You kind of tipped your cards a little bit with me, and this, I love it. This has been a long time in the making, and I'm super, super happy to have you on the show. This is awesome.
Well, thank you very much, Pete, and I hope you guys learned something, and I think I'll be able to learn something as well.
So before we get to that, I do want to play a voicemail. We did get a voicemail. This is constructive. Let's just say constructive criticism. But we'll let it do it. This is Ben. He didn't say where he was from.
Hi guys, this is Ben. I'm calling because I like all of the topics you discuss on your podcast, but I wanted to offer a little bit of constructive criticism.
Here we go.
The soundboard you use for special effects discredits your show and makes you sound like you're not serious about what you discuss. And the host with the ball cap, I think his name is Pete, when he mispronounces simple words like cat.
Like what?
And he's gone.
What? Come.
I don't think it's going to happen. Then there's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good.
I am beside Ben. Call back. I need to know what your problem with my pronunciation of simple words is.
The thing is, I got some advice for you, Ben. When you're talking, don't walk around when you got a good signal.
That's too bad. We don't get a ton of call-ins, and I don't mean to disparage those folks that call in, but I'm taking slight offense to that, Ben.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll acknowledge it was your episode where we're talking about the past lives. I did do a little more with the soundboard than I should have. I'll admit it. We try to keep things light here, and the whole point is let's have a good time. We're talking about some serious stuff here. We're talking about some like satanic worship stuff sometimes.
Yeah, some very dismal and dark crap that we're trying to break out of.
So it's important to just have fun and just lighten the show up, because that kind of brings people in. I've had a lot of good comments about having fun with the soundboard.
Yeah, you know, this is, you know, it's not for entertainment purposes only. This is also educational, but there's an entertainment value, right, and an entertainment aspect of it. You know, we can sit and play boring college lectures for you, but, you know, we like to have a little fun in the process. You know?
Exactly.
Right?
Stop pumping.
Stop pumping.
So I'm going to do this. This is the first, they have this feature on YouTube. I'm going to use it for once. I think it's over here. Let's do a poll. Do you like the soundboard or don't you? Vote right now, and we'll check it out. So before we get into your topic, Boyd, I also want to mention, please support us, folks, if you can, on BitChute. Well, subscribe to BitChute and DTube. That's important too, in case YouTube takes us down. But also you can do donations through the PayPal, and you can also do Patreon. 1, 5, and 10 denominations there. And you can also buy merch. Merch is good because you get something. I got one of the favorite shirts. People commented on this thing. Disclosure / now with the fizz tee. I like it. Kind of gets the message short, but it gets it across.
I want to go back to this Ben thing for a minute.
Oh, man. We go way off.
I'm sitting here over here stewing, Ben.
That's true story.
You've really got, okay. You said the guy with the ball cap, you think his name is Pete? Oh, Ben, what? Oh.
He's a man.
Continue, please.
It'll be okay, Pete.
I'm rattled all of a sudden. And
look at that guy.
Do you need a hug? I'll give you a hug.
I'm all right. I'm okay for now,
Okay,
but I might hit you up later. Okay.
All right, Eddie. That sounds great.
The offer's on the table.
I thought you were a woman.
That was pretty good. So, hey, that was great use of the soundboard, Dan.
I try. Yeah. See, that's when it needs to get used the proper way.
Yep, right.
We get points for that.
With great power comes great responsibility, Dan.
Exactly.
So, yeah, let's back to merch. I got a pillow. This is one of the items that does come up in the YouTube feed at the bottom. I'm impressed. You know, I got this printed off. I did the QA. This looks really good. It's basically just a pillowcase over a pillow, but it's still, I mean, that's right in there.
The material looks heavy duty.
And I thought maybe I could just sleep and let you guys do the rest of the show. And
Have you done any stress tests to it?
Like what?
Like, you know, trying to rip it in half or something?
Ripping and tearing?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Did you try to rip or tear it, Dan?
The ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing.
All right, Boyd, coming at you, man. Check this pillow out.
Ooh, I like this. Hey, I bet you this thing will work great for camping. I don't think the mice would bother it too much neither.
No?
Is that like the material they use in the...
It's like almost a canvasy type. It's heavy duty
That's
material.
Great.
Yeah.
I got to get me... I like camping.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to buy a couple of these.
There you go.
On.
Very nice.
And of course, don't forget the mugs. Simple, folks, but easy.
Damn it, Ben.
You're still like, you can't get off that?
I can't get off Ben right now.
Wild women.
I can't get off Ben right now. Anyway.
What about Terrence?
This is Terrence from blackbeachweek.com.
Terrence didn't say anything bad about me.
Do your dance, do your dance, do your dance.
Do your dance,
Okay, do your dance, do your dance.
That's a bad thing. All right, Boyd, I think we stole enough time away from you. I think
Yeah, sorry about that. I got out of hand there.
Hand it on over to you and give us this presentation on the EVPs and the paranormal.
All right. Well, thanks again for having me, guys. I'm going to ask you guys some questions and see if you have some good answers for me.
Oh, boy. Quiz?
Quiz time.
Yeah.
We've done a few of these on the show.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, have either one of you guys ever experienced hairs on the back of your neck standing up, cold shiver out of nowhere, and you don't know what it's coming from? You feel like eyes are watching you no matter what you do, you're at?
I felt the eyes.
Okay.
I've had weird feeling of being watched, like I got to get out of here feelings and stuff like that before. A couple.
Good.
Not a lot, but a few.
All right. Well, do you know what the possibility of that feeling, where that comes from, where it could possibly come from?
Something instinctual wired into us, I'm thinking.
The sixth sense.
I think so. I agree. I agree. With the paranormal, myself on my end of the team, my end of the spectrum, I try to debunk stuff using special tools. I don't have my EMF detector here. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
EMF detector, it measures electromagnetic fields.
Sure.
And a lot of people in the paranormal research areas believe that energy is everywhere. Your soul, what do you think your soul is? Is that energy? Is it like a pure form of energy, or what is it?
I think about that too, because your body right now that we're alive and moving has electrical impulses, energy that is constantly moving through it to operate, your brain, your muscles, all that stuff, right? When you die, that stops. So we know that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's transferred.
Good
or converted. Answer. So where does that energy go, right?
So now I'm going to ask you guys another question. Do you know what AC voltage is?
Actuating current.
Alternating current.
When you turn your light switch
on. Come on, Ben. Give him some crap next time.
When you turn your light switch on, your light comes on.
Correct.
That's a transfer of energy. Can you see the AC current? The AC voltage is 60 cycles per second. No, that current, that voltage.
Unless you're on shrooms.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But I haven't tried that myself personally. I don't know if anybody else has.
No comment.
Exactly.
So when it comes to when that AC voltage comes to your light bulb, what happens to that energy? It goes through a resistance through the filament. That filament glows. When you have that glowing, you have heat.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to that 60 cycles per second? Did it disappear?
Turned into heat.
It's changed to something else, but it's still energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my belief that the human soul, when the body withers away and dies, that energy moves on. Where does it go? We don't know.
Entropy, man.
That's why we use things like this. Digital tape recorders for trying to talk to and get responses from possible spirits. So I try to debunk stuff. When I can't debunk it, I can't explain it. All right, now we have something that's very possible and very real.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some examples here to show. Let's see, Dan, can you go to number 8?
I am literally on the edge of my seat here, Boyd. This is great.
Back in 2009, a group of friends and myself, we got together and we started a little group. We call ourselves WWPI, Western Wisconsin Paranormal Investigators. One of the team members actually worked for a gentleman up in Sparta who was in charge of the Boys and Girls Club in the Sparta area here in Wisconsin. And we learned that each year they put on a haunted house event up there in Sparta. They call it the House of Shadows. Well, we got free reign to be able to go in there and do whatever kind of research we wanted because there's a lot of activity in there. Each year, each summer, the kids and adults, they take and change the rooms so that the experience during October for people, it's always different. So there's a lot of activity, rooms are changed, painting and stuff. Funny things happen. Tools disappear. They move from one location to another location when there's nobody around. All kinds of fun stuff. So our team went in there, and many times, and we did a lot of investigations, and we had a lot of fun honing our skills. A little bit later, you're going to see some of the pictures from the House of Shadows. This particular picture that's up here right now, our group, we went down to this little town called Bloomingdale. And what you can see in that picture right there, what do you see?
Look right. Oh, like there's a hornet right under you.
Right
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, internet. There's this hornet crawling closer and closer to Boyd. I was trying to get Dan to take care of it.
I had no idea what you were doing.
I didn't know neither. I thought you wanted me to pick up my fleur.
Effing hornet. Yeah. Sorry, folks. Okay.
He only bite once or twice, right?
And I'm a man.
Yes. So. Yeah. You only bite once or twice.
All right. So let's come up to this little picture here. Dan, what do you see in that picture?
I see an orb.
Are you sure it's an orb?
Or dust.
Or dust. Okay.
Yeah, I see the blue blob.
All right.
I'm not gonna.
Now this was taken at a little cemetery down in Bloomingdale, And I actually took this photo, and I just used a relatively inexpensive digital camera. And standard procedure is you take a picture and you look at it. You try not to move very much. You just take the picture and wait. It comes up on your screen. Okay, you see something. You wait until the battery charges up for the flash.
Yep.
And then you take another picture. Let's go to the next slide there. Can you go to number 9?
Yep. We got to do it like this, I guess, so we can see the comparison.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep, just like that. So, what happened to that orb in the second picture?
Did it move? Is it somewhere else?
So there you go.
Okay, now this is orb or blue blob there, and then I don't leave it on the one without it or the one where it's moved.
So yeah, so you're talking about if like a 3-second, you took two after
two
another.
pictures back to back. The first one had that blue entity in it, possibly, and then the next picture in the same exact location, it was gone. And if you look at it real close, when you actually see the first picture,
there's something in it.
It's translucent. You can see the edge of the roof through it.
Yep, there's an orange piece of plant behind it. You can see.
It looks like there's solids in there.
Yeah, to the left. Yeah, it looks like that the orangish one there on the lower right. I can see that in the next frame.
Okay, now
but to the left of it, you can see some denser. You can see some denser
correct
blobs in there. That's the scientific term.
You can see right through it. You see a leaf on the tree.
Yeah,
you can see through it. You can see that it's got a circle, a pronounced circle around the outside, like a ring.
Yeah. It's thicker on the outside.
So what is it? It's not water. It's not dust. I'll show you a picture a little later that is definitely dust, so you can see the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't look like a dust speck. Well, the color's off for that too for me.
All right, now go to the next. Can you go to the next picture there, Dan?
This next one after this?
Yep,
the cat one.
Cat.
Yeah, let's see. We can go to the cat one if you like. Now, this picture was taken by one of our team members, and do either one of you guys do a lot of photography?
I do. Well, not a lot, but.
Dan's definitely better. More.
Can you explain where that color is coming from? What that streak could be?
That particular one, no.
I would think initial look, something is falling and trailing through the exposure, but then it goes up at the end.
But typically with pictures, you can get lens flares and stuff, and this wouldn't be a lens flare, obviously, but
you see, there's a weird discoloration that's almost like you see how the cat's left ear has that right angle kind of going through it, or not quite a right angle.
Or is that a shadow?
Or a reflection or something. It's weird. It looks like the camera was moving a little bit.
Or is there something in front of the cat
that
almost like an orb type or a type of energy
that you can't see with your naked eye, right?
Correct.
That's got a couple of different things going on.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Don't know.
Interesting.
Don't know what it is. All right, so let's jump into the next picture.
They have those meditation balls there, the ringing ones. That's cool.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
So, what do you think about that one? You think that's camera flare? What do you think? It's a human hair falling?
No, the two of them. That's too ironic. But it looks like the one they have a twist to them almost.
And they're not the same.
No, they're not. They're close, but not quite.
Yeah, you're talking about these.
What
would you call them? Squiggles?
Yeah, that's a good term for it.
Flying spaghetti monsters.
Because even the camera is a little ghosted. Was it foggy here when you took this one?
Now, this particular picture was taken by one of our team members at a cemetery. It's old cemetery back behind the industrial park up there in La Crosse. So I wasn't present at the time.
This was a submitted photo.
Correct. So it's kind of like, well, what is it? Well, I don't know. I can't debunk that. Let's jump into the next one. Now, what do you think about that?
See, part of me thinks that there's slow exposure, and the person with the camera does this, with it and moves it to get the streaks and stuff. But you look in this particular one, that headstone is like almost perfectly in focus.
That's right.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. But
and why is it paired up like that? Why now these look almost identical.
Yeah, doing the same
almost,
thing.
Not
Crazy.
quite.
Almost. That's the thing that intrigues me on this. What I think this actually is is you see that plant there on the left behind the stone?
Yeah.
On the top of that is one of those solar lights. And I think what's happening here is that the flash from the camera, you know how how you got them little globes, them round globes, you know, with the little LED lights in it.
Yep.
I think that this here is when the flash flashed and it took that picture in the milliseconds of time, how that the round ball itself has got all these different shapes to try and make it brighter, kind of like magnifies the LED on the inside.
Okay.
That's what I think that is. But what I can't explain is in the very top of that picture where it's got that squirrely thing again and then that bright blue spot. So
like right in the middle of it, right? In the middle of the squiggle.
Right on the very top. And if you look there, there's two of them there. There's one off to the left, one off to the right.
And they're not identical.
So
it's a remnant. Were there two lights? There were two lights on the headstone.
There was only one.
No.
There was only the one on the left behind.
No.
Yes.
Wow. That's weird.
That's why I can't explain this one. I can't explain them. So I think it's very, very interesting. Is that energy? I don't know.
Well, it's an energy of some sort, I would say.
So let's see if we can go.
You know, people are going to scream camera artifact,
exactly.
or
exactly,
and it's tough. And
one of the members and myself, we actually spent a lot of time doing some experiments with spraying water mist in the air, taking photographs. We did some experimenting with long exposures, and yes, we can duplicate some of the effects because that's part of the debunking process.
Sure.
And the ones that we can't duplicate. What is it?
Now you're highlighting it and saying, okay, this one's of interest.
We don't know what it is. So when you can coordinate weird pictures like that, unexplained pictures, with possible audio files, then it gets really interesting. So this picture right here, does anybody see anything out of the ordinary in that one?
Not especially.
All right.
Yeah, nothing jumps out for me.
All right. Let's go to the next picture.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Now go back to the first one. Just off to the right in the center, you see a kind of a dull spot.
Yeah. I thought maybe that's what we were going to be looking at. That's interesting.
Yeah, this guy up here.
No, down lower right, right?
Lower right.
Let's go back. Go back one picture. All right, on the middle to the right, move your mouse to your right.
There you go. And then
right, down.
Yep, that one right there.
Pay attention to that. Now, if you go to the left and up, go to the left and up.
Yeah, and it's
right there. You see right there by your mouse, there's something there. Now go to the next picture.
That something there is still there.
That one's still there.
It's almost like that orb moved up to
in the tree.
Yeah, right?
And all of a sudden, this mist is there.
Yeah.
Now, once again, these pictures are taken back to back.
3 seconds-ish.
However long it takes for the flash to recharge
Do we
itself.
know the temperature of the night?
And that particular night, it was above 40 degrees.
Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Can you see your breath at 40 degrees?
No, I even tried smoking a cigarette and blowing smoke. I took actual photographs.
Yep. And I've seen that, but usually it's a much thicker reflection that you get.
Definitely. And this is just...
And look at how sparse that is. That doesn't look like a plume coming out of an exhale, right? You know?
Correct. And that's one of the things that, as a paranormal investigator, when you're out on a site doing an investigation, you pay attention to all these things and you stop breathing. You hold your breath while you take the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, when you hold your breath, you always have the possibility of shaking a little bit if you hold it too long.
Right.
So then you can get some abnormalities, anomalies, there we go, in the actual photograph. So is it energy? Is it a photographic error? Is it too long of an exposure? What is it? So it's just interesting stuff. All right. Now, this one here is actually taken at a cemetery up in Sparta. There's a children's cemetery up there. It used to be an orphanage.
Sparta, Wisconsin, folks, for those who don't know.
Yeah, the House of Shadows.
Okay.
If folks ever get a chance to get up there during the weekends in October, you go through that house and all the funds go for benefiting the Boys and Girls Club in Sparta. So it's a pretty awesome deal.
Nice.
And the kids put a lot of work into it, and there's actors there, and it's a lot of fun.
Crazy stuff, right?
So this here is, just look at these orbs. Does that look like dust to you?
Again, see, I thought I'm waiting for the ones that are actually going to be dust, but I almost see like a more dense nucleus to those again. That's closer to what I would call a dust particle or a moisture particle, but I feel like I'm picking up a little, almost a denser nucleus, like I said, in them. So,
it's got a shape, it's got a form, it's somewhat solid.
Yeah, inside. Yeah, there's some. It almost feels like there's something just by look.
So jump the next one, next picture,
and they disappear real quick.
Where are they?
Folks.
They're there, then they're gone.
Yeah. Same about time frame, probably
3 seconds apart, right?
Correct.
We're looking at these 3 seconds apart.
Out of hundreds and hundreds of pictures, I mean, you'll get.
Yeah, this isn't happening every photo
Correct.
series you're taking, right?
So, all right, let's jump into the next picture. See what we have.
Oh, see, now that's straight out of a damn horror movie. What's that in the background there?
Those are like ghosts for just the Halloween direction.
Is that like a cardboard cutout silhouette thing?
No, them are actual stone statues.
Oh, stone statues.
Okay.
When I took this picture, I almost crapped my pants.
I could imagine.
It's like, what? No way, because it's pitch black.
Yeah.
You can't see anything. But them are actually stone sculptures.
Okay.
There.
Okay. So, all right.
Because part of the debunking process is to.
It was close. That's an old cemetery there. Look at those headstones.
Oh yes, it is.
Were they early 1900s?
These are children. And it's from an orphanage.
Did you get a date off any of the headstones that you remember or anything?
I don't remember the dates on them right now.
They're a carbon copy. I would put them just by looking probably early 1900s, 1920s or something.
So let's see what the next picture has to show us.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Pretty interesting.
So in this particular one, you walked forward a little bit and re-snapped it
to try and figure out what
the hell you just saw.
Shapes were.
Yes. You're braver than I. I don't think I would have walked toward them.
but now look to your right. What do you see?
Little faint orb there.
Now look at the shape. It's not round.
It's a little oblong a little bit.
It's got 2 right angles on it. On the bottom.
Almost hexagonal, right?
And that's an indication of moisture. When you have
when you can see
when you see the right angles like that.
Okay.
But the funny thing is that well, you couldn't see your breath that night, and that mist disappeared. Whatever
the mist is messing with me too.
And it's like, what is this? I don't know what it is. Okay, so let's jump in the next one. Let's see, what are we looking at on that one?
What the hell's this? Some guy with a light?
No, that is not. That I do believe is the light by the front gate.
Okay.
Oh, like a reflective fire number or something.
There's a front gate there for the area. Okay,
so you got some smoke coming in here.
Or whatever that is.
And again, you shouldn't
look
see
at
your
how
breath.
wispy that is. I mean, it's like the cartoon aroma from a pie from the old Bugs Bunny cartoons. You can see the curls and
the smoking a cigarette. You don't get that kind of effect at all.
No.
Even when it's cold out and you intentionally try and take a picture of your breath, the steam, it doesn't come out like that. So what is it? We don't know.
Well, we're about to winter here in Wisconsin. I'm going to do some experimenting.
Oh, you go right ahead.
Exactly.
All right. Now, once again, this here's the child's cemetery up there, children's cemetery.
And you took these photos, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So let's go to the next one. And what do you see?
I see some black orbs. I'm just kidding. A little humor. Sorry, folks.
That's 2 of our members.
Ben was getting on us about that too, probably.
So I just
he's a man.
I just wanted to have their faces blacked out just because.
Yep. No, I respect that.
Now, what else do you see in that picture?
There's a white, that Dano's on it there. I'm looking around.
blue texture, blue,
It's
white.
it looks like weird. A darker blue on the inside and like a lighter blue to white on the outside. So the dense pieces are a little blue.
Okay, now this is inside the House of Shadows in one of the rooms that the kids,
yes.
you know, they were starting to redo and stuff.
I was gonna say, so just so people know that this, like they're mimicking blood on the walls. This is just for effect to help.
Right, because it's a haunted house. I mean, that's what they do, and that's how they make their money for the year. So go ahead and go to the next picture. What changed, Pete?
I don't see the white orb anymore.
Dan, do you think that could have been some kind of weird reflection off something? A reminder now, it's pitch black in there.
So you were in the dark, and that was your flash lighting up stuff.
Correct.
I will be honest. I think there is something to this orb thing, because I did see some when I had an older digital camera before. They were coming up a lot. But I notice now when you use your phones, I don't get anything on them anymore. But I used to get a lot of these things.
No,
I shouldn't say a lot. But
why do you think you don't get them on the phones?
Different technology.
Different technology. The pixels are more, and the camera actually, with the new technology, the camera tries to take out and do the autofocus, and it takes out
anomalies or things like
that.
It
can try and make it as sharp as possible.
It filters it or whatever, right?
Yeah. And the older cameras,
it was what you got. Yep.
So now, if we go to the next picture, maybe this might. Okay, that one there.
Oh, look at that.
Now, what I thought this was in the basement of the House of Shadows. And, I could tell you stories about this room that would probably make your hairs on the back of your neck just stand right up. Now, what I thought this was, after I took the picture, in the upper left, there's an actual light bulb there.
Yep, over on the left there, yeah.
But it's dark. I mean, it's absolute dark in there.
So the light is not on. That's
correct.
all what's reflected from your camera flash.
Correct. Now, what I'm not sure about is on the wall, on the back of the wall there, you can see the reflective insulation board.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a possibility that what this anomaly is actually a reflection of the element from the flash going through the outside the bulb and reflecting off the reflective surface? And the problem is I couldn't duplicate it. I tried and tried and tried. I could not duplicate this picture.
A question for you, Boyd. When you find these pictures with the orb or whatever, and then, the next picture doesn't have one, is it always like the first picture that has the orb and then the second one? Or can you take a series of like 5 pictures and like number 3 and number 4 have the orb, not orb?
Whichever way you want to do it.
Okay, so
it really is. On this, that last picture there, I took that picture myself, and it's like I took it and I walked away.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even look at my screen, because when it's pitch black out and you take a picture, first thing you want to do is close your eyes, take the picture, and if you open your eyes up too soon, then you got that picture right in front of your eyes, and it's hard to refocus.
Exactly. Yep.
So this one here was just I took the picture and I walked away and went to another room, and when I reviewed it, it's like, what the heck is this?
What is that?
Then we went back and we tried different cameras. I tried to duplicate it.
If you're doing a lot of this stuff and you're taking pictures, you just want to just get a bunch. I mean, you don't want to sit there, take a picture, look at it all the time, and be disappointed. You kind of just want to go through it.
Right. Yep. And it's all time consuming. So now this next picture, Pete, you asked us a little bit earlier. This is a picture of a whole bunch of experimental dust. This is guaranteed dust. We did these pictures in a house, in a controlled environment, and we actually took a vacuum bag, a regular vacuum.
Okay.
And I actually took and squished the bag with my hands to get all the dust in the air, and we actually took photos. And this one here had such a wide variety that we used this as the basic to determining if an orb is dust or what is it. Out of the orb pictures you've seen so far, what do you think?
Well, it looks on some of these that there is more of a denseness in the nucleus in some of them. I don't see the same color I see a lot more of them, obviously.
I wish. Did you try to do this like against like a background to see if these how translucent these would be? Because this is all just pitch black.
Yep, this is just pitch black.
It's kind of hard.
I think we had I think we used a black towel to get the maximum effect.
Right.
The contrast.
It
right?
just would have been interesting if like to see if something was behind it. You know how much you
Yeah,
can see
right.
through
Yeah,
it.
go do that out in front of that bush, that for instance, or something.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
But I guess a lot of these, I will say, they do look the same.
Okay, because these, if you take a look, you got the outside shell, then it looks like you got a circle, and then it's got
Yeah.
a center.
Yeah,
And
there's that pronounced inner dark ring that was missing on the other ones.
So them other ones, I don't think they're dust, but I don't know what they are.
Yep.
Yeah,
So we spent a lot of time,
you really study them, I guess.
and it's a lot of fun. But
We know that.
do you guys have any questions about any of these pictures and stuff so far?
Not so far. Just more like pondering on my end.
All right.
My basic question is, what the heck, you know? But that's what we're here talking about.
All right. Well, now maybe I can see if I can give you guys some nightmares. Because I want to share some
It's been a little while.
EVPs.
This is what we're waiting for here. Getting into the good stuff now. Jumping in with both feet.
It can happen.
All right. Let's see here. How are we doing on time there, Dan? Are we okay? Or
We've been going for 35 minutes. So.
okay. Well, this first one here is actually a minute long. The second one is actually a 1 second clip of this. So let's do the second one.
Okay.
Go ahead and play it. Everybody be quiet and listen and
Turn up your volume on your speakers.
Oh, don't kill yourself, folks. We heard a bang for sure.
okay. Can you hear it? Can you do it again?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the story behind this, you got to have the context
Context
of what
yep.
was going on. We were setting up in a room in the House of Shadows on the second level that is known to have, it just raises Cain with electronic equipment. And I had problems that night as well. And one of our investigators who, she is a sensitive. And she's not very good at taking pictures. Yeah. Huh? So we were bringing her up to speed on how to actually do EVPs. And we're cramped in this little area, this little room. My DVD-R system would not come up. It would not stay running. I'd get powered up, and I had a camera set up and all that stuff. Boom, everything would go off. And it kept doing that. So I was still in the process of setting up. And I had a tape recorder, actually this one right here, little digital cheap tape recorder from Walmart. And I had that setting on the table. And she was being told how to do this, how to ask a question, wait 15 seconds, ask another question. And she had made a comment. She says, "I'm going to go sit." On the tape recorder, that little 1 second blurb there is a response. So play it again and try and listen real close and see if you can make out what it's trying to say. She said, "I'm going to sit."
Oh, I can't do it.
It's so hard to.
I think this one here was a wisecrack.
In the wall.
In the room.
In the room.
In the room.
In the room. Basically, she asks, "Where am I going to sit?"
Yeah, in the room.
Yeah, and this was.
Yeah, and then she must have moved something, and that's that bang we hear
I was moving
her.
stuff
Oh,
because I was just setting up equipment.
Yep.
She was practicing. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
All right, let's.
Ooh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Okay, now the context of this next one.
Take that, Ben. Sorry.
Is in the House of Shadows up there. There's a long stairwell that goes upstairs, and during the one season there, they closed the upstairs off for the actors.
Okay.
That was their changing room, and they put a little makeshift gate up there across the steps. Well, one of our members and her husband wanted to go upstairs and sit on the steps. Well, the gate was screwed so it couldn't just be pulled open. So the husband just grabbed onto it, yanked the screws out of it, and they went up and sat on the steps. They were sitting up there nice and quiet. They weren't even asking questions, but they captured this on their recorder. See if you can make it out.
Ooh.
Close it.
Oh, it is so...
The gate was open because during the month of October, when the actors are going upstairs, they'd go upstairs and have a break, and they just had a hook on the backside of it. So when we were in there, they'd actually screwed it closed for whatever reason. And I can only assume that while the kids are doing their upstairs and downstairs, you know, kids would leave the gate open, and whatever spirit is there would keep on hearing the kids say, "Close the gate, close the gate."
Oh, sure, right.
So when the gate was pulled open, they didn't close it. I think this is just a fun response
that says, "Hey, yeah, close the gate."
Close the gate.
Close it. Yep, close it.
Number 4.
It almost sounds like somebody breathing, like something like that, you know?
Close it. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it does. I wish they'd speak up a little bit.
I know, right?
Yeah. That's when it gets really interesting. So let's go to this next one. And this one was actually captured in a cemetery. I do believe that this one was captured. There's
a swatter over there.
Is there?
Oh, don't piss him off.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Let's go wide. Let me grab the thing, folks. Keep the show going.
All right.
Yep. All right, continue, Boyd.
So I do believe that this one here was captured on a recorder in the old cemetery that's out by the industrial park up there in La Crosse. And did you get it?
No, I didn't want to.
40 times.
No, he's down there.
I got him. I got my eye on him though. Here he comes, boys. He looks pissed.
That's right.
Now just remember,
Oh, boy.
when that energy disappears from his life, he's gonna come back and get you later.
Oh, he's going
Get me on the head.
Boyd. Dan, see how Dan does with wasps.
I was a man when I was 12 years old.
He knows not. Here, let me try to do it with my positive vibes. Just go over there and you'll be all right.
This is insane, folks.
Oh, yes. Ooh, definitely.
You're not a deer hunter, are you? Are you, Pete?
I am.
That was a heck of a miss there, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't hit him in midair.
You're a half mile away.
Yeah, he's quicker. All right, he's over there.
We're good now.
We're
folks,
ticking people off listening to the podcast.
This has been crazy. The last few times we've gotten together, weird, crazy stuff has been happening.
Well, maybe it was in anticipation to this show.
I'm sure I just pissed off a bunch of viewers that are nonviolent and don't.
We're okay.
Let's hear it in the comments, folks.
We're all right. We'll be okay.
How are you?
All right, Dan. So this next one, listen to it close and see if you can hear it.
I hear close.
Sorry.
Sounds like a ghost child.
That's really loud compared to the other ones.
That's a Class A EVP. So that one was pretty interesting.
That one like may have manifested in a very physical sound wave. Like that was just like someone there.
And if you listen to the very beginning of it, do you hear that little pop?
Yeah.
That's atypical of a Class A EVP. It's just like the spirit is trying to build up enough energy to,
and then all of a sudden it like cracks into it.
Yep. Just like crossing from one dimension to another. It's like being teleported someplace.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's hit this next one.
That's a screechy one there.
That was from a different type of tape recorder.
Oofta.
I want it told. He wants a story told for some reason, this gentleman.
Man, I don't even hear that.
It's right at the beginning. I want it told.
I hear I. I told is what I hear.
I want it told. That's what we think it is. So let's see. Oh, this one here, this next one here. This is a pretty clear one. It should be self-explanatory.
There you go.
Right there at the end, Pete.
There was other people talking.
There was other people talking in the room in the house, getting ready to do an investigation. It's right there at the very end.
There you go.
Oh, I missed it.
I heard some kind of whisper.
It was
10
a whisper.
seconds. Go to 10 seconds on that if you can.
Good evening. Is that what it says?
Oh, yeah. I hear that one now.
That's weird, man.
Now, how can you explain that? How that would come over when there's over a tape recorder?
There was this one time when we were younger, my brother and I were screwing around with the tape recorder because that's what it was the beginning of tech, and that's what we'd like to be in. We were making a bunch of voice recordings. We were in the living room one night. And we went back and listened to it, and we heard this voice come through it. Sticks. Like,
Sticks.
That's what we heard, and it was like, well, we must have just lined up two parts that were, but we never figured it out. It was really weird.
All right, now this is the big one, gentlemen.
I remember. This is one you shared with me a while back, and this is creepy.
Now, this one here, we did an investigation for a couple up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. They refused to go down in their basement at night. Where's the washing machine and dryer?
In the basement.
Typically in the basement.
They would not go down there unless they were together. And they were just creeped out. Nothing physical happened there that we're aware of. It just, they felt really creeped out. There used to be an old coal furnace in there. There was a coal room with the coal chute, and they just felt like there was something back in that room. It just terrified them. They just couldn't stand being down there.
Mm-hmm.
So we came in, and we'll get a little laugh out of this, but it's the first time I set up a remote camera. I had my van parked out in the driveway, and I had 100 feet of cable and a camera set up down there. And one of our brave investigators, our brave soul, Neil, he decided he'd be down there by himself. There was nobody in the house at all. And myself and the other members are out in my van, and we're watching this live on a screen. And the one sensitive gal, she was like, what's going on there? I think I see something. I got to go down there. I got to go down there. So she went downstairs in the basement and checking on things. And it's like, oh, no, this can't happen. This can't happen. There was a bat flying around in there. I could see it. I could see the bat.
Oh, God.
And it grazed her hair. And she goes, something touched me. Something touched me. And she was kind of freaking out.
And she's thinking, here we go. She's got this great experience.
And then she realized it was a bat. And she started crying, literally. And we had walkie-talkies and stuff. And I'm laughing. It's like, oh, my gosh, this is funny. I didn't realize she was that terrified of bats.
Yeah, and she's going through like a mental breakdown.
Yes, she was. And she started screaming for somebody to come get her. So I went down there and I brought her back.
Let me ask this question. Has there been a known time of bats attacking people? I don't think it's just kind of a...
I've seen and heard of bats flying in people's hairs and stuff. I don't know so much about
flying,
attacking,
but not like,
maybe rabid.
Yeah, like you see in the movies where they like jump on you.
Yeah,
I think that's just all
Hollywood.
I was attacked by bats when I was a kid. I thought I was being attacked, and I wasn't. It was all the little bugs, all the little gnats flying around that they were diving at.
Well, Batman got attacked anyway. Sorry.
So anyhow, this last EVP is phenomenal. It's really difficult to hear. We were getting ready to wrap it up for the night. Folks, you're probably not going to be able to hear everything. It took me hours and hours of listening at this to try and figure out what was being said. You're going to hear some creaking noises. Our one investigator was down there in the basement, and he was sitting on a wood chair that was falling apart, by the way. And he had his back up against the wall. And it's like, okay, we should be getting ready to pack up and head out. It's getting kind of late. So he had asked, he made a statement, and he asked a question. Basically, he said, if there's any spirits here, anybody here, we're leaving pretty soon. If you want to talk with us, then you got to talk to us now. If there's anybody here, where are you? What I captured on a DVD is what follows. See if you can pick anything up. I hear 3 different responses.
I didn't get it that time.
Okay. You hear Neil clear his throat. He goes, after he asked the question, basically what I hear is, okay, it's really hard to make out. The first part of it is behind you by your right shoulder. Then there's a spot where you can't, unless you're really tuned in with the earbuds and real still, I hear a second one say, where is he? At the very end of it, you hear, he's over there. And you hear an echo trail at the end of there. So go ahead and play it again and see if you can pick them up.
There's something right here.
I'm behind you. I hear that I'm behind you.
And then
I can hear something. I can't make it out.
And it's hard to hear the over there part.
Because this, I didn't use any software at all to try and modify this at all.
This is just you turned up the volume.
That was it. That's it. That come right off a DVD. So, that was pretty. That one there was very compelling.
That one was good too.
Definitely.
So if that doesn't make you a believer, nothing will. So, I just got a few pointers here that I'd like to mention to all the folks out there. You guys have any questions about?
Yeah, we're gonna go over some of your tech, right, before we wrap up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, Dan's a tech guy, so we got to talk about the tech.
I'll do a shot on here so people can see it close up as we go through the stuff.
Pretty much most of the tools that a person uses for paranormal research, one of the best tools you can have is a digital recorder. Now, I say a digital recorder for the simple fact that you don't hear the motor running and the plastic gears running on a tape. With a digital, you get a lot cleaner sounds. It's more pure.
Makes sense. And it allows for much easier, if you did want to try filtering and stuff too, right? And tweaking with equalization. And it makes it a little easier to do that too as well. Yeah.
There was a free program that I used. It was called Audacity. And once I started playing with it, I realized that a lot of these things you hear on the TV shows, if you speed stuff up, Pete, you could fart in a microphone and record it
again.
Yep. And then you could use sound editing software. You could speed it up and slow it down and make it sound like something.
Auto tune it and all that stuff, right?
The only thing that I ever did with mine is I took out some of the white noise. And when you take out some of the white noise, holy cow, you can really start to hear some stuff, but it takes hours and hours.
Yep.
I got a little bit fancier one day, and I spent $5,000 on this thermal imaging camera, and we set it up multiple times and used it, and I haven't got nothing with it yet. As far as that goes for the paranormal.
Yeah,
can you boot it up quick?
I can try.
And now with paranormal, maybe you could find cold spots, but like we're talking more about like electromagnetic energy, which may not have as much of a heat signature, right?
Well, once again, energy is energy.
Yeah, right.
If energy is energy, it's going to put off some sort of heat.
Mm-hmm.
And with the FLIR, of course, we can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. And primarily what we are looking for is differentials in heat. And once we get fully booted up here, we're just about there.
Looks cool. We can already see the heat off the TVs.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to show you something spectacular.
See, I'd like to use this. This would have been nice to have in our Sasquatch hunt, Dan.
Absolutely.
100th episode.
Oh, yes.
I got to focus on it.
Okay. Can you see me? Is my mouth hotter or colder?
Take a swig of your drink. Let's see. Okay.
Talk is cheap.
You're awesome.
Hell yes.
So,
Oh, yes.
This is a little extreme on this end because I also use this for business purposes as well. Finding faults with electrical and water and moisture and stuff like that.
Checking your heat loss of your house.
Yeah, to be clear, have you ever seen any paranormal activity on here?
I thought I did, but I didn't get it captured, so.
Does it have recording capabilities?
Yes, you can do still images along with, you can actually hook it up to a DVD-R like I had it hooked up. And
record up as long as you got the memory for it.
As long as you got battery life. So pretty awesome deal there. And I've got a ton of other toys laying back
show
here.
those too for everybody.
It's a very, very expensive hobby.
If you want to get serious about it.
If you want to be serious about it. And we would set up remote cameras, DVD-R systems, high 8 camcorders, digital camcorders, microphones. It just keeps on getting more and more and more and more expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the fun part is after you go do an investigation, this tape recorder is your best friend along with your camera. Those two items, you're going to spend hours going through your audio.
Just combing it over and over and over, yeah.
And I have some recommendations for any of you folks out there that are interested in paranormal research and you think you're just going to, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I want you to make sure that you realize what you're getting yourselves into. Whether or not you're religious or not, it makes no difference to me. But hey, folks, when you're dealing with things that you're not sure about, it could backfire on you.
Definitely.
So I need you to be aware of a few things.
Uh-oh. Here's the serious speech, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, here we go.
I don't like where this is
No
going.
onions.
All right.
That's for you, Ben.
You're going to let Ben on.
Ben's going to be on my
You
mind for a
remember
while.
his name at least.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
You can't remember yours.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
Well, maybe this can go for Ben as well. Do your research.
Hey, there you go.
Ding, ding.
A junior West.
Sorry.
Of course, it isn't cheap. It's not cheap to get into this fun adventure. If you're easily creeped out, you're gonna have a hard time being out in a cemetery at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. It'll be really nerve-wracking. You're gonna be your worst enemy because you're gonna freak out at everything. The only thing that I ever freaked out at in a cemetery, skunk.
Oh yeah, that's a good reason to freak out though.
It is. Yep.
And I didn't realize it was a skunk until I got real close to him.
Yep.
So that was my biggest danger.
He didn't get you, did you?
No.
You can still move quick when you need to.
When I took a picture of him, it's like, oops, I'm backing up, and I was done for the night.
Oh, yeah.
So I also I want to let you guys realize that paranormal research, going out in the field, there's a real danger involved. Not just physically, but mentally. So if by chance you want to go try this in an old abandoned house someplace, please get permission to be there first so you don't get a ticket for trespassing. Okay? Be smart, people.
Yeah, you don't want to give the other paranormal researchers bad names either, right? You know,
exactly.
It only takes one, and then no one's allowed. They start closing up properties.
And the biggest thing they're concerned about is vandalism or people stealing stuff, copper wires.
Yep.
And liability now.
Yep, yeah, liability.
Someone's going to break their neck, right?
Somebody gets hurt. All right. So with that being said, if you're going to be doing this, you should actually come up with your own document and waiving all liability to be on the premises to make the homeowner feel a lot more comfortable to allow you to come in there. You know, it just makes sense.
Yep. In Wisconsin, there's a recreational law that if you get hurt recreating on somebody else's property, they can't sue you.
Okay.
They use that for ATV trails, snowmobile trails.
All right.
It'd be interesting to see, and hunting and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see if that could carry over to someone's old house or even their own house they're living in.
Right. I mean, you never know. If you do get permission to go into some old abandoned house, go there in the daytime, so you can see what kind of shape the place is in, so you don't fall through the floor.
Very good point.
Yep.
Like we've almost done a couple times.
You speak from experience.
Going into a new area and not knowing it, and a friend of mine has an old house out here on the farm, and we can go there. Okay, let's go.
See you at midnight, right?
Yeah. It gets pretty dicey, folks. One of the biggest things, too, is be extremely polite and respectful to the homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of people out there that don't want people to think they're crazies or loons because they have a haunted house or they got a haunting going on. So you got to be respectful and treat them with the utmost respect.
Right.
And just like back in the old days when I actually went and did a little bit of metal detecting, you go on somebody's land.
That doesn't go over very well.
You take and dig a hole in the ground. You dig a plug and then you put the plug back.
Yeah,
You know, keep the place looking better than what it was when you first came. Most of the investigating is extremely boring. Very seldom does anything happen during the investigation. When you're doing an EVP session, you sit there, you ask a question, and you wait for 15 seconds. And ask another question. But by all means, please introduce yourself to these entities first.
Mm-hmm.
If I came into your house and said, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Like, go F yourself, you know? Get out of here. Leave me alone. Whereas, hello, I'm here. I'm not here to harm you at all.
Yeah.
And open up a conversation because they were people at one time too, except for the ones that were never human, which are demons.
Yeah.
Which we haven't found any yet.
Ooh, that's an interesting teaser there at the end.
And one of the very, 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 very important things is, folks, when you're doing things like this, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You can actually bring home things that you may not want to come home with you.
Great point.
So do your research, folks.
So how do you prevent bringing home something that you don't respect? Is one, right? You know, showing respect and
that's a big thing. I'm not super religious, but I'm religious enough to where prior to an investigation, I would say a prayer.
Really? Any holy water involved? Anything like that?
No. Some people will carry a lucky coin, a medallion of some sort, something that's been blessed.
Something that can block negative energy, things like that, right?
Correct.
Okay. There's lots of options available there.
Oh, yes. It's whatever your beliefs are. And when you do leave a scene, you're done for the investigation, just say, hey, nobody's welcome to come home with me. Hey, you're not welcome at my home.
Thank you for interacting with me, but please don't come home with me, that sort of thing, right?
Correct.
Like a vampire, you don't invite it into your house, right?
Right. So with that being said, folks, if you're going to be out there, be safe, be careful, be respectful, have fun, and
no onions.
No onions.
Take that, Benno.
That's pretty damn good. All right, folks, thank you for joining us. You had a hat you wanted to introduce real quick?
Oh,
before we take
yeah,
off?
I know Squatch. Hans, go check out his website. It's awesome. Cool Squatch gear. And the 100th Bigfoot episode, if you haven't seen it, go back, look in the archives. It's there. It's fun.
It was a good one. We'll see you guys later on Talk is Cheap. Bye-bye.